All right, so on this quick little episode, this little roundup, we're gonna do something that's very DC focused because there was a huge DC announcement. James Gunn came out and basically pitched
First 10 projects.
the first 10 projects in the new DC lineup. Right?
I can read what you wrote right here.
Yeah, read it out loud.
James Gunn reveals first 10 projects in the first part of a two-chapter,
Yes.
8 to 10 year overarching storyline. It officially kicks off July 11th, 2025 with Superman Legacy, a brand new live action Superman film, after which all DC content will take place in the same canon. So this is going to be the first leg of the DCU.
Yeah, so this is basically their attempt of
MCU type content. Anything else, including the Batman, Joker will be labeled as DC Elseworlds, which is also like a comic book thing where they create stories. In most cases, they are more adult and they kind of exist outside of the main comic book continuity, kind of more in a graphic novel type capacity.
Yeah.
The first one, and he's got a lot of obscure
characters
picks here.
Yes.
Right? Creative Commandos. I'm not very familiar. And I read a lot of comic books, man. I feel like I have a very in-depth knowledge of a lot of like just comic book shit. And
why don't you take us through this list top down and then we'll revisit some of the outliers.
Number 1, Creative Commandos, an animated HBO Max show.
This is not in order of release though, I don't think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is maybe just a list.
Waller, which is obviously it's like a live action HBO show, going to be Amanda Waller. What's her name from? What's the show? What's her name? Viola Davis. Viola Davis. I feel apparently she's one of the few coming back into this DCU world.
Yeah.
Superman Legacy, the film, which I just aforementioned. Lanterns, I'm very excited about that live action HBO Max show about the Green Lantern Corps. The Authority, theatrical film, no familiarity. Paradise Lost, live action HBO Max show, which is based around Wonder Woman.
Okay.
It's about the Amazons. I don't know if this is going to be like a springboard for a new Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The Brave and the Bold, no clue what that's about. Booster Gold, I always talk about Booster Gold. Love Booster Gold. Live action HBO Max show. I kind of envision it being kind of much like Peacemaker, kind of more adult, risque type of jokes. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, a film, which I imagine is going to come right off the heels of Superman. And then Swamp Thing film.
Yes.
Which that's number 10. So Swamp Thing kind of lives in the biological science realm and then gets into the mystical, magical element of. Yeah. So he kind of combines both of those.
I grew up on Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing is great.
I'm a big Swamp Thing fan.
I think Swamp Thing, Waller, and Swamp Thing, Waller, Superman, and Lanterns probably have the most legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this other stuff,
we'll see.
It's interesting because it's very TV show forward. Like it's very, I feel like there's a lot of series on there.
Yeah.
And fewer films. It kind of makes sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, that's where DC's been successful.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he's had success, I feel like, with TV series. So I feel like he's leaning.
We spoke on this earlier. There's a second part. Gunn confirms the Batman 2 will be released October 3rd, 2025.
Yeah. So Batman 2 gets the confirmed date, right?
Yeah.
October
25th? Yeah, October 3rd, 2025.
October 3rd, 2025.
Is aiming to be middle part of a trilogy film, and that the offshoot series for their DCU is being referred to as the Batman crime drama.
Yeah.
Which will probably be named something else. So he's starting to put together his whole...
Yeah, I was bummed that 2025... That feels
too far.
Feels too far.
No, we just get another pandemic. We'll be fine.
Feels too far. I don't know why Batman 2 is 2025. That should be 2024, if not sooner. I feel like what's going on? When are we?
I don't know.
When did that come out? That was 2022?
It did come.
No, that was 22.
21 or 22?
end of 21 that led in. No,
Let's take a look.
That was
Let's
our
take a
first show.
look.
We came
Batman.
back.
Let's take a look.
That was in like
Batman.
February, January,
Yeah,
February. It was
March
2022.
4th.
March 4th,
22.
22.
Yeah.
There it is. So 20.
That's 4 years.
I would have said 2024.
3 years. I would like 2024.
It feels.
End of 2024.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes on the top of
I mean, just
2025.
the end of 2025. That's the end of 25. That's a ways off.
That's too far.
That's a
that
ways
puts me
off.
puts me in the same thing I had with Avatar. It's just too far out.
It's too far out. I'm excited for the Swamp Thing. That's about it on that list, if I'm being honest. Depending on what they decide to do as Superman, I don't know. We'll see. I really don't recognize the rest of the list. It was very odd to me.
Very odd stuff. Very much stuff I'm not really familiar
Seems
with.
very James Gunn though.
Yeah, that's him. He takes characters that people aren't familiar with. Okay, so Marvel did this. The Avengers were very much not known
Sure.
to the general public.
Yes,
Right?
sure.
If you read comic books, if you were familiar with their mainstays, which were the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man, you were then familiar with
Yeah.
the Avengers,
rest, yeah.
right? Marvel had no IP left because they were going bankrupt. Got rid of sold all the IPs to Fox, Sony, and Universal. So they had nothing left to create a studio around. Jon Favreau was like, I'm gonna do Iron Man, gets Robert Downey Jr. The rest is history, right? I feel like James Gunn is deviating the attention away from the Holy Trinity, which is Wonder Woman, Batman,
Yeah.
and Superman, and saying, listen, if you give me a chance with obscure characters to create a ground level foundation
Sure.
for a universe and expand it outward to the Holy Trinity,
Yeah.
right? And we just take one element from that, right? Superman, build out. I feel like we can have.
Yeah, because Batman's not really accounted for in his chapter.
Yeah,
one.
there's no, and I feel like he's doing that purposefully because he doesn't want to convolute the DCU studio with what Matt Reeves is doing. So I don't
Sure.
think we're going to get a DCU Batman for a long time.
Yeah, you want to give Matt Reeves time to
Yeah.
kind of close his thing out and then build up to the
20,
Batman.
I'm thinking 2030 at this point.
Yeah, that's probably realistic,
7 years.
especially with the next movie coming out in 2025.
20,
Yeah.
yeah. With 3 to 4
realistic.
years after, that's 2028. I mean, he could do it, right? He
Sure.
can do whatever he
Well,
wants.
that's where I think a show like Waller really does well, because Amanda Waller is an integral character.
And you can reference Batman. You can do a lot of things to say he exists and not bring him in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And build upon his arrival. And I think that's a great way to do it. I don't know. I trust James Gunn very, very much. Very, very creative, awesome creative mind. Like he's one of the guys that I just always tune in for his stuff. And in Gunn we trust. James Gunn, West Side Gunn, Billy Gunn,
Hell yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
Anything else surprised you
Top
about
Gun.
that list, about that announcement? You're all good with it?
I guess we just got to see. I'm gonna take some time and really kind of research those titles and characters. My buddy, the DJ, my man Yo Q, he texted me. He was like all excited about, because he's like heavy in the DC literature. Like, and he was like, "Yo, this shit is crazy," and I was like,
Isn't Peacemaker coming back?
"Yeah,
Wasn't on that list though.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Well, I think Peacemaker, honestly, as the show dies out and gets grafted somehow into that
Waller, I think he kind of comes back under that Waller.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
John Cena was great in that. I would love to see him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I gotta go to Target.
All right. Let's wrap it up.